welcome to Vigas Mudra channel. I am Harikumar with Insights. The skyrocketing oil prices have devastated the global economy, and this is very evident in South Asia. Two countries, Sri Lanka and Pakistan, are going through a real economic crisis. In Sri Lanka, there is 10 hours power cut daily. Essential items are not available in the market, and the hospitals in the country have almost stopped operations, and they now depend on India for essential medicine. So the situation is really catastrophic. People are trying to run away from the country. Human traffickers have become active, and they are taking out citizens and sometimes even cheating them, leaving them in the lurch in the uninhabited islands in Indian Ocean. So the situation is really horrific in Sri Lanka. In Pakistan also, the situation is slowly moving in that direction. There has a no confidence motion has been introduced in the parliament against Prime Minister Imran Khan. The opposition alleges that Imran Khan has failed to deliver and the country's economy is in a real crisis. There has been a massive protest following the government's decision to hike fuel prices, and subsequently the government rolled back the prices, and till March the prices have been on a freeze. So the situation can go out of control in Pakistan also anytime. Naturally, there is a question: is India also going to face the same situation? There is logic to think so, because India is the second or the third biggest importer of oil and natural gas in the world. So huge oil prices means India is in real trouble. It has been estimated that every $10 per barrel rise in oil will lead to an additional burden of say $12.5 billion for India. That means India's deficit is going to increase by $12.5 billion for every $10 rise in per barrel in fuel, that is crude oil. So at that rate, India is going to face a very tough situation. So will India face the same situation as Sri Lanka or Pakistan? Absolutely not. This is my opinion. Why I am saying this is because Indian economy is far bigger than Pakistan's or Sri Lankan economy. For example, the foreign exchange reserve of Sri Lanka is currently say 2 billion US dollar, and for Pakistan it's a bit better at around 14 billion US dollar. But in India's case, it is well over 620 billion US dollar. So currently, what is threatening the Sri Lanka is its lack of foreign exchange reserve to import essential items, fuel, and other things. Won't happen to India because India's reserve are such huge. And the second thing is food shortage being faced by Sri Lanka. That also doesn't apply to India because India is the second biggest producer of wheat in the world and the second biggest producer of rice also in the world. In fact, India is the biggest exporter of rice in the world. So India has not just enough, it has more, and it exports. India also exports wheat, though it is not among the top five. And that means food crisis is not going to affect India. This is number two. And the number three is India also manufactures value added refined products out of petroleum and exports it. In fact, India is the fifth biggest exporter of refined oil products in the world. So naturally, if crude prices rise, India's import also rises, and a part of it will be returned to the global market as value added products, and Indian companies are going to benefit out of it. So it means that the rise in oil prices works on Indian economy in a different way. This is another thing. Another important fact is what we use with imported crude oil. As I told you, India produces value added products. Again, a major part of it is being used for transportation. Industry also uses part of the imported oil. But in India, unlike in some countries, the major fuel used by industry is coal and not oil or natural gas. So that way, the impact on manufacturing sector will be not that direct in India, unlike in some other countries. So these aspects prove that the Indian economy will not be hit in the same way as high oil prices are impacting in some other countries. So it's going to be a different thing, and it's a complex thing. Does that mean Indian economy is safe and India won't be hit by high oil prices? I won't say like that. Indian economy will be hit. As I said earlier, the fiscal deficit is going to widen, because in India's budget 2022-23, it was estimated that oil prices would be around $75 a barrel. So that is not going to happen. It is much, much higher. So definitely current account deficit is going to widen. Fiscal deficit is going to widen. Currently the inflation, retail inflation in India is over 6%, which is not a good thing. The government, the Reserve Bank of India expected the inflation to be around 4.5% in 2022, and that may not be the fact this year. So definitely high oil prices are going to create inflation in India or increase inflation in India. So this is going to be a difficult situation. Prices are going to be high, but at the same time it may not pull down GDP growth that much. It was earlier expected that India's GDP is likely to grow by 7.5 or over 7.5% in 2022-23, and now rating agencies have reduced it a bit, and it could be between 7 and 7.5%, but it is still a very healthy growth rate. So India is going to be impacted, and the growth itself may be impacted, but not in a very big way as to create a catastrophe in the country like what is going in Sri Lanka or what is going in Pakistan. This is what I think will be the impact of high oil prices on India. India needs to be careful. India will be hit. We are going to face difficulties, but it won't be a catastrophe. The impact won't be cataclysmic. It won't be a huge crisis. India is not going to be in a perfect storm. This is what I feel. So, but that doesn't lead to complacency. India needs to sustain its growth and to make use of opportunities available at present, because now there is a huge opportunity for India to export wheat because of the Ukraine Russia war. The export of wheat has been hampered. So this is what I think about the impact of high oil prices on Indian economy. Thank you, and meet you next time with another topic. Till then, goodbye and namaskaram.